Hello and welcome to another Site Supervisor briefing. Greg Evans here, and today I have Janeth, a software engineer, with me, and we're talking about site comms. Now, Janeth, communication, of course, is of paramount importance at any building site, and that's what site comms is all about, isn't it?
That's right, Greg. The design philosophy of site comms is a collaboration tool designed for construction. We've taken how people use email on a site and build it from the ground up. Every feature, every component of it is about getting a problem resolved on site. It is a more formal way of communicating. It also provides an audit trail. It's a one working space for the project team to work in. Now, this allows users to easily reference other features in Site Supervisor as part of the communication. For example, to communicate about a specific issue, you can reference a markup so everyone involved knows exactly the area that has been discussed. Now let's take a look at site comms. In the top right-hand corner, we have this icon that is designated for site comms. No matter where you are in the app, you can always access it by clicking on this icon. If I go to site comms, this is what we see.
Yeah, just looking at that, at first glance, it looks a bit like an email inbox to me. What am I looking at here?
Yeah, that's right, Greg. So this is built on the foundations of how people use email. On the top right corner, you'll see three distinct categories: open, close, and archive. We'll come to it in a second. But as I open site comms, I see a list of site comms that have been either sent to me and is waiting my response. It's been sent to me as a subscriber, a fly on the wall almost, where someone wants me to be involved in the process, or it is a site comms that I've created and I'm waiting for someone else to get back to me. Those are the three distinct site comms that we have.
Is that what those little red symbols mean?
That's right, yeah. So if we look at the right-hand side of every site comm, there's a very specific symbol associated to it. Now, if I bring out the sidebar in our mobile view, we will see that is also the same icons we see in the filter. It is giving the ability to filter by official responder. Now, that is a term in Site Supervisor, specifically site comms, where a site comms has been started and the official responder will always be the single person that can resolve this particular question. The first filter is where the responder is me. Now, this is a good way of seeing all the site comms that you're part of, but filtered down to the ones where you are holding up other people. So you can do this at the start of the day and just get an idea of what you need to clear before the end of the day. Next filter is others. This is where you've asked a question and you're waiting on other people to get back to you. Then responded by me is when you've given the official response and you've done your part. Responded by others is when you've asked a question, they've given an official response, now it's just waiting an action on your part. You can either officially resolve it, which is marking it as closed, which we'll see in a second, or you can archive it for future reference. And then finally, none is when a conversation has been started but there's no official responder. It's more of a conversation than getting a problem resolved. Now if we go back to our site comms view, let's take a look at some of the site comms in example. So if I take a look at one where the double green tick implies I've asked a question and the person that is the official responder has gotten back to me. So if I open that up, we can see that I've asked Joanna a very specific question. Now she's given me a response and I can make a decision here. If I'm not happy with the response, I can add a comment and that'll keep the conversation going. But if it's adequately enough for what I need to do, I can bring out the sidebar and then mark it as closed. Now I am prompted with a confirmation because marking it as closed lets everyone in the site comm know that this has been resolved. And this is a one-way action. It cannot be undone. So you have to be very mindful before you decide to mark a site comm as closed. But I'm happy with it, so I'm going to continue with that. And as you can see, it's gone from my inbox. It's not gone forever. I can always refer it back to in my closed tab and keep the conversation going if it were to arise again. Going back to my open, so that's an example of where I've asked a question and they've gotten back to me. Now let's take a look at one where someone's asked me a question and they're waiting on me. So the icon to represent that is this one here. And if I open that up, we can see that Kevin's asked me a very specific question, which color we're using for a particular wall. I can give him an official response. And if we do that, say, please use the Fair-Bianca color. I can add an attachment if I need additional documents to go with this response, or I can even add a markup to say, to ensure that we're both looking at the same part of a drawing and there's no miscommunication. But in this instance, it's a simple question, So I'm going to go ahead and give him the official response. Now, if I go back to my site comms, you'll see that it's got the single green tick, which, if we look at our filters, implies that it's been responded by me.
Can you delete Sitecom messages at all?
No, Greg, and that's very deliberate. We've ensured that once data is entered, because it is a collaborative platform, nothing can be deleted, because people will rely on the information that they see on the platform to take action. You know, if someone asks to bring down a wall in a particular level, and they conform to it and they take down the wall, but then if the other person went and delete that, you know, there's lots of information. So you can close site comms when it's resolved. You can archive it if you want to keep it for future reference, but we can never delete something once it's out in public. Okay, let's take a look at how you can create a site comms from the ground up. So again, I bring up the sidebar. If I scroll to the top, you'll see a new site comm. When this modal opens up, we will see a few questions that we have to answer. The first question is, which project does this sitecom belong to? Every sitecom created needs to belong to a specific project. In this instance, let's pick Tower Park Hotel. The subject is just like how you would use it in email. Let's say we're trying to pick the wall color for the bathroom. I have to pick the type of sitecoms this is, and I have a few options. General, submittal, notice, memo, or RFI. Now, in this particular instance, we need a request for information. So I pick RFI, and specifically, I need a site instruction. This lets the official responder know that till they officially respond to my question, they're holding my line of work. So let's say my question is to Kevin. I can add collaborators. So these are people that I want to be part of the communication, but not actively involved. This is usually like CCing your boss, so they have a reference to what's going on. Let's say I need help in picking the color of the bathroom. Please let me know. And then I can send off the message. Now, that opens up the view that we're familiar with. Now, this shows that I've asked a question on a particular timestamp, and I'm waiting for an official response by Kevin. Now, he'll be alerted of this, and he'll see a very similar view in which he can respond to. All right, so if I go back to my Sitecom's dashboard, you can see that that is waiting at the top of my list.
Yes, well, that's beautifully explained, Janeth. Thank you very much. It looks like as if it's been designed to work very well on a mobile phone as well. That's it for today. If ever you want more information about Site Supervisor, remember, you can ask us anything. We'll see you next time.